welcome back to my channel. It's Dr. Vero. So today I have chosen to talk about something that I learned a lot about during my health policy class at the University of Miami for my Master's of Public Health. We were instructed to write an article, choose a topic that's very important here in South Florida, and I chose childhood obesity. Little did I know that researching this would have such an effect on me and make me want to tackle even more than I've already been doing prevention of disease, more so than treating the actual disease. During my research about this, I actually did write a paper on it and I submitted it to the Sun Sentinel for publishing. It may or may not get published, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. The article itself actually is on my blog, so the link will be down below. You guys can also go and read that. But I'm gonna give you the basics and the information that I found that I thought to be extremely important. I wanna bring awareness to this problem because I do believe that childhood obesity, specifically in Southeast Florida, is becoming somewhat of an epidemic. And it's becoming something that is bringing a lot of disease to our children, and later on in life, the kids with obesity in youth do develop diabetes and a lot of cardiac diseases later on when they're growing up. So this is a huge way to intervene and prevent cardiovascular disease and diabetes itself in our population. So I think it's a very important topic to discuss. So what I'm going to be saying is basically the prevalence in Florida of childhood obesity, the effects of childhood obesity, what things we might be able to do to change this both in school and at home. So I'm going to talk about all these things now. So let's get right to it, okay? Okay, so prevalence of childhood obesity in Florida is actually pretty high. It's approximately 13%. And this is a huge problem because obesity predisposes you to cardiovascular disease, predisposes you to strokes, diabetes, which gives you a whole bunch of other medical problems like kidney problems and problems with your eyes, problems with your veins and your arteries, problems with your nerves. A lot of amputations occur because of diabetes, so it's very debilitating. It's a very tough disease to live with. So the fact that obesity itself is a risk factor for diabetes, I think that attacking childhood obesity itself will be extremely beneficial to the health of our population and also worldwide. Okay, so it predisposes you to obesity and all these other health issues, but is it only a physical burden? No, actually obesity is a huge psychological burden. It predisposes kids to being bullied. One study actually showed that among kids who were bullied in high school, almost 53% of them were because of their weight and their appearance. The study also found that kids who are bullied are also higher risk of alcohol and drug abuse. They have riskier sexual behaviors. They have more suicidal ideations and self-harm, and they have depression, and they have all of these problems because of their social environment and what their weight has brought upon them. So aside from the psychological burden, a study was made and it basically looked at quality of life in the US. And although we are living longer here in the States, compared to other countries worldwide, quality of life is decreasing. And I think that it's something that we can all make a change if we just kind of discuss it and bring more awareness to it. So a few of the things that I kind of said in the article were possible ways that we could start to have a change both in school and at home. Schools nowadays are having healthier options, and this is a huge benefit because a study did show that if a child is exposed to healthy foods earlier in life, there is a higher likelihood that they will continue eating these healthy foods later on in life. So one of the things I proposed was implementing a sort of after-school program that would make it mandatory for all kids to participate in exercise of at least 45 minutes after school. Obviously, diet has a big key role here, and you have to give the kids snacks, so of course the whole healthy snack thing. But exercise is a really big deal because a lot of these kids, they may or may not live in neighborhoods that are safe for them to go outside and ride a bike, or safe for them to go and play ball, or even be outside in the streets, or maybe there's not even a park nearby. There's not an area where they can actually go and be physically active. And so school is a very safe place, and I think that if we can you do these exercise programs at the schools, there's a big chance that other kids will want to participate in activities that make them more physically active, get their heart rates going. You know, a little more exercise would be really beneficial. Another thing that I proposed was having physicians from the community kind of form a group that would come to the school and teach the parents about the effects of sleep deprivation. So for those of you who have followed my postings and watched my channel vigorously, thank you. And you yourselves would know that I posted something on sleep deprivation and the side effects of that. And one of them, for those of you who haven't seen it, which I urge you that you should totally go see it, it's awesome. But if you don't want to, then I'll tell you that sleep deprivation causes a hormonal imbalance in your body that kind of messes up your metabolism and makes you gain weight. So I think that having physicians come to the school and teach the parents about the effects of sleep deprivation would be really beneficial, but that is not far enough. I think that the schools themselves should provide parents with the support that they need to learn about healthy sleeping habits. Most oftentimes it's the patterns before you go to bed that actually affect and alter and disturb your sleep. So I think that teaching the parents how to have an adequate, healthy bedtime routine would be extremely beneficial. Aside from that, I think that psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors at the schools should be able to identify the students who are having some academic disturbances, behavioral disturbances, and see how they're doing at home. Maybe there's something going on at home, and a lot of emotional things tend to be managed with food. Now, this is not in my blog itself. This is something that it's my personal opinion. Food is a huge outlet for a lot of emotional behaviors and a lot of emotional disturbances, depression and sadness and anxiety. A lot of people seek food for comfort, and this is a huge problem for the weight. So I think that if the counselors kind of start picking up on these disturbances in the school, I think it would be really beneficial to identify them, bring the parents in, have discussions, and try to see if there's things that they can do to change in the home. If we can somehow help parents make healthy choices themselves and start to alter the way that they eat at home, then they will start to change the foods that their children themselves are exposed to. And this way, if a child has a healthy option and a not as healthy but still sort of healthy, the child can actually make a healthy choice without maybe intending to. So I do think that somehow making a change at home and making parents aware that their eating habits affect their children and the way their children eat and the future health of their children, I think that parents would start to make adequate changes in their own lifestyles to benefit the health of their own kids. And this is something that I do strongly believe. Another thing that I think is really important is family and children playing together and exercising together. And it not only promotes exercise and physical activities at home, it also improves bonding time with your kids. So if we can somehow bring games for parents to play with their kids, we not only improve bonding time, but we can also have families working out and exercising and doing fun activities together. So I think that's a win-win. How easy it may be to implement may be quite different. Again, this is just a theory and a hope that this is something that we can do at homes. Lastly, one more thing that I think is extremely important is that physicians should definitely tell the parents the bad effects of too much TV watching. A study was actually conducted and it showed that kids who watch more TV actually had higher body fat. So the more TV someone watches, obviously they're more sedentary. This means that they're sitting down for longer periods of time, doing absolutely no physical activity except exercise your thumb to click on that TV button. I think that if you're able to somehow decrease the amount of TV, not rule it out entirely. I mean, TV is a huge part of culture and you get to see all these crazy things, and YouTube is also really famous. Obviously, here you are watching me talk. But I do think that if we're able to somehow decrease the amount of TV that kids watch, and provide them with more fun activities to do that require some physical activity, like after school programs or fun games at home and things like this, so they can trade TV for more fun and physically demanding activities, then somehow we can also kind of attack this childhood obesity problem. So myself, I do think childhood obesity is a huge issue here in Florida and also worldwide. I think that preventing childhood obesity would be very, very helpful to preventing obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular risk in adulthood. In fact, diabetes, high blood pressure are the two most prevalent diseases in the United States. And so I think that because they are so prevalent, we need to start finding other ways to treat these conditions and not just making new drugs. And I think that awareness is huge, and just letting you guys know that this is a big problem. This is something that we can fix. I mean, if it's not genetic, then childhood obesity can be easily treated with lifestyle modifications, exercise, better sleep, less TV time, and healthier diets. And I think that if we can somehow do things to start implementing these things worldwide, in our homes, as parents, as physicians, as teachers and counselors, then I think that we can affect a really, really big change and somehow kind of bend the curve on this growing epidemic of childhood obesity and adulthood obesity as well. So I hope you guys learned something and got something out of this video and watching me. Please subscribe, follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Pinterest. I keep up with you guys on social media. You guys can kind of take a look at my stories on Instagram and see what I'm doing on my daily life. Get to know me a little better. Please ask me questions. A lot of the things I'll be saying here are very closely related to my blog. So on those occasions like this one, I will send you there or kind of like put the link so you guys can go there and check it out for yourselves. But I have other cool things on that blog that I don't discuss. So if you see something on my blog that you really want to hear about, let me know and I will definitely post a video on that. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, don't forget the buttons down there. Bye!